Hello and welcome to ED Insight, where we get you a 360-degree view of the big picture in business and economy. I am Sridhar Ramakrishnan. On the show today, the monsoon has been bountiful this year, but why isn't that the solution to India's water woes? While water shortage is a huge problem, it is also the ideal opportunity for technology providers. Meet the companies that are making money while the taps run dry. And what policy level changes are required to avert a water crisis? Our top story first. In stark contrast to 22% deficit last year, India received 3% more rainfall than normal this year. Well, that's great news for farmers. It doesn't quite solve our water woes. In fact, according to the Ministry of Water Resources, per capita availability of water is all set to drop by 36% by 2025 compared to 2001 levels. And by 2015, that shortage would have risen to 60%. But why is water turning into a crisis in a country that gets plenty of rainfall? Lakshmi Subramanian finds out.
And with that, the prestigious 14th Commonwealth Games came to a big bang end. But for host city Delhi, the woes may have just begun. Already 70% of Delhi's groundwater has been overexploited. In a bid to supply water to the CWG village, even the deep aquifers of the Yamuna riverbed have been exploited. Experts say there are huge risks to that.
When we are going to 250 feet down, 300 feet down, at places 400 feet down into the ground, then there is no way that monsoon can replenish that level of aquifers until unless some massive groundwater recharge facilities are created which are able to reach up to that level.
At present, no such mechanisms are in place in India, and that is a matter of concern because more than 60% of India's 62 million irrigated hectares is fed by groundwater. Not just that, our cities, which are coming to depend on groundwater, fare very badly compared to their global counterparts. 4 Indian cities, Chennai, Delhi, Mumbai and Kolkata, grace the bottom of a list of 27 Asian cities in terms of water availability per day. So why is India facing such a severe crisis?
We are able to utilize only 1/3 of the water that we get, and already we are getting less water as compared to other countries because we are getting only 4% of the fresh water of the world supply, and on that, as you know, our population is almost 17% of the world population.
And that's the crux of the problem. According to the Central Water Commission, in 1950, we had almost 5,000 cubic meters of water per person per year. Today, that number has come down to 1,700 cubic meters. It is estimated that water availability will fall to 1,000 cubic meters by 2050, when our population is expected to stabilize to 1.8 billion. The figure is alarming because as it is, India is a water-stressed nation because availability of 1,800 cubic meters per person per year is considered as the stress point and 1,100 cubic meters is a critical point.
With the demand increasing, you have to be able to manage your water much better, which we've not been able to do over the years. So per capita availability has been falling.
We have a monsoon which is also followed by 6 to 7 months of drought. So it's all about, I think, how we are harnessing and storing the water from the monsoon in a way that we can effectively use it. So the issues are really related to how we manage the water.
And poor management of water doesn't help the cause. According to UNICEF, India receives an average of 4,000 billion cubic meters of rainfall every year. But 48% of it ends up in the rivers, and due to lack of storage and crumbling infrastructure, only 18% is stored and utilized, while the remaining 34% is unaccounted for. Added to that, our big irrigation systems are in poor shape.
India has spent 1,42,000 crores of rupees on such projects, big irrigation projects. In fact, 95% of India's big dams are built for irrigation. And after spending 1,42,000 crores of rupees in this period, one would have expected some addition to irrigated area. But net irrigated area by canals has not increased at all in this period and has actually decreased by more than 2 million hectares.
So to increase the irrigated area, many state governments have been providing free water and electricity that are worsening the groundwater situation.
We find that farmers in these kind of areas have their pump set switched on 24/7. They don't have to pay any kind of electricity bill, so they're constantly pumping on more water than they actually require. And this also leads to a situation where you have water intensive crops like sugarcane being planted rather than a low water crop. And the groundwater in fact is depleting faster than it can be recharged.
As a result, currently 30% of the rural population lacks access to drinking water. And of the 35 states in India, only 7 have full availability of drinking water for rural inhabitants. But if that's how it is in rural India, the problems in cities are very different. Poor water supply infrastructure is a lead cause of water shortages. According to ASSOCHAM, 47% of Delhi's water is lost due to leaky pipelines compared to Bangalore's 39% and Mumbai's 30%.
We bring water from further and further away. Bringing water long distances means that your pipeline invariably has very high distribution losses. And as a result of it, most of our cities today end up talking about anywhere between 20 to 40% water wastage.
So, most cities get potable water only once or twice a day, and residents have to resort to bottled water for their drinking needs. India's bottled water industry has been growing at triple the pace of the economy as a whole. But not everyone can afford to pay a price of 30 to 40 rupees per can every day.
The fact that some companies are making a lot of money with bottled water, selling it to rich people and middle class, that's fine. It's okay. Our point is everybody should be able to get clean, safe, reliable supply of drinking water in their house.
Even water from tankers for non-drinking purposes is expensive. On an average, water from a private tanker costs 130 rupees for 750 litres and 200 rupees per 1000 litres. So if an average family were to survive on the supplies from tankers, the cost would come to 3,900 to 6,000 rupees per month. Slum dwellers who can't afford to pay such a price resort to using water directly from sources like rivers and lakes. But pollution has rendered this water also unusable. For instance, Delhi produces 3.6 million cubic meters of sewage every day. But because of poor management, less than half of it is effectively treated. The remaining untreated waste is dumped into the Yamuna, which provides 86% of Delhi's water supply. The story is same in other cities like Mumbai and Chennai.
One study UNICEF completed looked at random water quality testing of about 4,500 points in across 14 states, and we found that there was evidence of microbiological contamination in about half of the samples, which is quite worrying.
It is estimated that around 37.7 million Indians are affected by waterborne diseases annually. 1.5 million children are estimated to die of diarrhea alone, and 73 million working days are lost due to waterborne diseases each year. The resulting economic burden on the country is estimated at $600 million a year. A lot of this money can be saved if the government and people collectively undertake water conservation measures.
A few of those measures include desalination and wastewater recycling. And some companies are making a whole lot of money by capitalizing on these technologies. We'll tell you how after this short break. Stay with us.
This show brought to you by SpiceJet. Get more when you fly with SpiceJet. Reuters, new era, new tools. Log on to in.reuters.com.